How many goals are too many? Well, it depends on how you manage them. And today I want to talk about some things you can consider when working on multiple goals at the same time. Having more than one goal adds variety to your week. It can keep you motivated and give you a sense of progress. But it can also leave you feeling overstressed, overwhelmed, and unmotivated if you don't take the right steps. So let's get into some key questions you can ask yourself today to make sure that you set yourself up for success and have some fun along the way. The first question you should be asking yourself is, how many goals do I have? How many goals do you have across your work and your personal life? Can you write them all down together on one page? We often compartmentalize or separate our goals into different buckets. It could be monthly versus quarterly, work versus home, finance versus well-being. Whatever it is, when we separate out our goals, we are making one big mistake, and that's to do with time management. You see, it doesn't matter how many goals you have. There is always only one you. You only have 24 hours in every single day, and you only have your one source of energy. And when we separate our goals, we often underestimate how much time we are going to need to make progress towards them every single week. Because you're not just working on these goals, you also have daily tasks and responsibilities that you need to do no matter what. When you put the goals down together, you will have a better idea of how much is on your plate and how much time you need. From there, you can make decisions about whether you need to get some help, whether you need to reduce the scope or the size of some of the things you're looking to achieve, or what action you need to take to be successful. The best thing is you're doing it proactively, so you're not waiting until you get overwhelmed and stressed with all of the things that you have put on your plate. The second question I want you to ask yourself is, what is your priority? With all of these goals that you're working towards, which one is most important? What is your no matter what goal? When you are clear about this upfront, it helps you to rank or prioritize the others in order as well. And that means that if anything goes wrong or if something unexpected happens that leaves you with less time or energy to work towards your goals, you already know which one must come first. And you already know which one can perhaps be deferred or delayed or even stopped altogether if needed. Doing this now reduces the tension and the decision fatigue that comes in the moment if you are unclear about your goals and their priority. The next question I recommend asking when it comes to your goals is, how are they connected? Are your goals sequential, which means that one must be finished before another can start? If this is the case, don't fret or worry about not working on multiple things at the same time. In fact, doing so would probably be a waste of your time and your energy. Instead, focus on finishing one and then moving on to the next. Perhaps your goals are linked to a bigger, longer term goal. You want to make sure that you are staying on the same page, that any work you do in one area isn't creating more work in another. When you're looking at linked goals, always check to see if the longer term or the bigger goal is still the same, or if there's anything that you need to adjust to make sure that you stay on the same page. Complementary goals are similar to linked goals in that work in one area could benefit the other, and they can often cross between work and home. For example, if you are making great progress on a health and well-being goal, you might see extra energy and motivation come into work and help you achieve those work goals. Also be mindful with these that they can have a negative impact on each other. So for example, if you're putting in long hours to achieve a work goal, this might have a negative impact on the health and well-being goal if that's the case. With complementary goals, just be sure to look at them together and check that there's no conflict. And finally, you have goals which are completely independent, so they do not have any impact on each other at all. Just be mindful that even though the goals are independent, there is still only one you, and you need to be conscious of how much time you're spending on each on any given week. When you're looking at your goals, please remember to consider the existing goals. We can get carried away at the start of the year, at a quarter, or at the start of a month when we're setting new goals. They're exciting and we want to go achieve them. But there are often things that are still open and in play. You might have a longer term goal that you're still working towards, or something that you had started working for last quarter that you still haven't finished. Just because you set a whole new set of goals doesn't mean that the old ones are automatically closed out. You need to make that decision for yourself. Decide whether or not the old goals have been replaced, or maybe updated or extended with the new goals that you've set, or do they need to continue as well? And if they do need to continue, how much time do you need for everything? And what's the priority? And how are they connected? You can see how these questions keep coming up. Finally, when it comes to multiple goals, it's really good to measure progress together. And that's because you're going to move at a different pace for each goal. And you might make a lot of progress in one area, while another might take a little bit longer. When you look at everything together, it can keep you motivated, and you'll see that you are making progress and you are moving forward overall. It's also great to look at any risks and issues at this stage. Is there anything that could get in the way of you being successful? And if there is, what can you do proactively to minimize the risk of that happening? Do you have any issues right now that are getting in the way of you being successful? And if they are impacting multiple goals, is there something that you can do to change that? Is there some help that you can get? Is there a different action you can take? Track your progress together, and a great way to do it is to look at the milestones that you're working towards. So when I say milestones, I'm talking about mini outcomes along the way that will show you that you're on the right track, that you are moving in the right directions. They are focused on the outcome, not the task, because the task itself might change once you get started, but the outcomes rarely do. So along with your risks and your issues, check to see if you're hitting those milestones and if you are making progress in the way that you expected. To recap, when it comes to multiple goals, it's important to list them all together so that you are clear on how much time you need to spend on your goals in total. You need to know what your priority goal is, the one that cannot be dropped no matter what, and then how the others rank in importance relative to that. It's good to know how your goals are connected and how work in one area could impact another. And always consider if you have open goals that still need to be closed out, merged, or continue to be worked on even though you've set new goals. And finally, track and measure progress overall as well as individually. Use your milestones to make sure that you're on the right path, and always check for issues and risks. I hope you find this helpful. Take a look at your goals today and set yourself up for success. Until next time, stay well and have a better workday.